But you know, me and Craig, we went through this for a year and 5 months. You know, maybe you done it in 3 months, 4 months, but you know,
Nobody did it that
I watched the show 60 minutes. Takes me 2 hours. I might be a little slow, but I get there. I'm like that little turtle. I'm going to get there. I might just take a little bit longer. But I wanted to take a few minutes this morning to touch a little more on my testimony. It's so broad, I didn't get through a whole lot of it, so I want to tell you just a little bit more. But I want to tell you that I graduated with my associate's degree in theology 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I was able to get it.
And I liked it. It took me a little over a year to get through it. But I learned more from this, for myself, than I did from that. That's a lot of Bible knowledge, a lot of memory scriptures. There's a lot of repetition, teaching me, helping me to memorize things. But this right here is life-changing. This fixes you. This fixes your problems. That degree I got taught me a lot about the Bible that I can use to teach others. But this taught me who I was. This taught me how to fix things in my life. This taught me how to get more on that journey. Sometimes we get to walking down the road for God, and the road is so wide. And you know, if you're walking down it, you can walk to this side, then you can walk to this side, and it's taking you longer because you're walking from side to side, if that makes any sense to you, instead of going straight down it. But with this right here, it was more of a little narrow road. So I didn't wander over here, and I didn't wander over here. I didn't spend time going back and forth. I could see the little path, and I walked down it. So to me, I got more out of this than I did that. But I wanted to accomplish that. That way I say I finished something. But I had to get my GED before I could do the theological classes. But that was a big accomplishment for me, to be able to get my GED, to know that I had finished something. And I thought back to high school, and I thought back to when they kicked me out of high school for throwing my teacher over a desk. I thought back, you know, they had good reason for that. You know, when they did it, I was mad, upset, like, wow, what did I do? I mean, he made me mad. But I thought that's what life was about. I thought when somebody make you mad, you beat them up. But it took me a while, Pastor, to learn that you can't. Good teacher. But it took me a while to learn. It took me many years to learn that fighting does not solve every problem. Fussing does not solve every problem. Praying is what solves our problem, church. We can go to our Father. The Bible says we have an advocate with our Father. We can go to our Father. We can say, Father, such and such has done this to me. Such and such has done that to me. And we can pray for them. We can pray for us. We can pray for the healing of them and the healing for us. And then we can move closer to the Father. Because there's always going to be somebody in life that's mean to you, upsets you, hurts your feelings, breaks your heart, does you wrong. There's always going to be somebody like that. But you know, it took me a while to learn that in my walk with God. I've been serving God 10 years and 3 months now. I take it one day at a time. One of the biggest things I got from this growth journey, I say it to myself all the time, is I must finish well. That's one of the biggest things I got, Pastor. I must finish well. This journey I'm on, I have to finish it. This ain't nothing I can give up on. Because if I give up on it, I don't get the prize at the end. And that prize at the end is everything. It's everything. Church, how would it be to work so hard for Christ for so long to give up 6 months at the end? You know, there was a rabbit and there was a turtle. They both raced the race. And the rabbit was probably like me, just crazing everywhere. He probably went backwards more than he went forward. But the little turtle said, I can do it. He just kept strolling along. And the rabbit would probably go 3 miles up and 6 miles back. Because he wasn't stable. He didn't have a good foundation. He didn't have something that he could hold on to. You know, when we read the Bible, we study, we pray, we fast. That's that foundation that we can build from, that we can build something to find out who we are, what we are supposed to do. And we can accomplish what God has asked us to accomplish. But in my life, I had to walk through a lot of bitterness, a lot of anger, a lot of rage, a lot of resentment. Craig was talking about coming to my graduation. Other people told me they was going to show up. None of them showed up. Some of my family was going to show up. They didn't show up. But I could get mad, I could get upset, I could get angry, I could get bitterness in the heart. But the Bible says if we get bitterness in the heart, it begins to grow. And then start out a little weed. And then it gets bigger. If you've ever seen a little weed in your yard, if you get it and pull it up out of the garden when it's small, it's nothing. You yank it up out of there. But if you let it grow for a week or two, that thing starts to grow. You let it stay there for a month, it thinks it owns that place. That's not your garden no more. That weed says, this is my garden now. Because you pull, and you pull, and you pull, and that weed says, keep it going, I own this now. You waited too long. But that's the way it is with us. If we let bitterness start to grow and take root, they say palm trees, the roots go straight down until they find a rock or something they wrap around it. That way they can bend and bow like this in the wind. I don't know, I've never actually took one up, but that's what they say. I'm going to take their word for it. But that's what that will do. That bitterness will take hold in somewhere. Now, we got a lot of parts on our bodies. Fingers, toes, arms, belly, head. We got a lot of parts. So that bitterness will take a hold somewhere in your body. And it starts to grow. And it can grow out your arms. It can grow out your feet. It can grow out your head, out your ears. Spiritually growing inside of you. And if we don't do something about it, it's going to get worse. So when I was younger, I had nobody really to take care of me. As I told you last time, nobody really to love me, to nourish me. My mama tried to do what she could, but she never really had a father that take care of her. Her father was an alcoholic. He died when I was 3 or 4 years old. So she never really had a stable family, so she didn't really know how to be a stable mother. She never really worked, never had a job. We lived on my grandma's Social Security and food stamps and people that would help us. But I never learned how to deal with anger. I never learned how to deal with resentment and hurt. When somebody hurt me or done something to me, my first reaction, Pastor, was to fight. I didn't have good sense. I tried to fight 5, 6, 7 people. I wasn't looking for the win. I was just looking for the fight. I can make up plenty of excuses later why I didn't win. I just always wanted to fight. Because that's all I knew. That's all I had been taught. So I'd let this anger and this rage and stuff just build up inside of me. And I didn't know how to get rid of it. I didn't know how to release it until God became my father and began to teach me. Began to be the father that was never there. Began to be the mother that didn't know how. She didn't read right. She didn't go to school. She grew up in the mountains up towards Pigeon Forge. So there was nothing she could really teach me in life. Because she had never experienced nothing really. So I had to start from zero. But this anger and this rage would build up inside of me. And I wouldn't know how to release it. I don't know if I shared with you last time, but I had to go to, my work made me go to anger management one time. And I tried to be up one of those supervisors. But I thought I needed it. But now I was Christian then. I hadn't been Christian long. So I was still striving, trying to get better, trying to grow better. I could see way out there I need to get there, but I'm working on it. So my work, after I threatened to beat him up, and they said I headbutted him and spit in his face. I don't know. I got real close. I might have tapped him when I was I just wanted to make sure he heard me. And so HR was going to fire me. He was night shift supervisor, I was day shift supervisor. They were going to fire me. I'd been there like 20 years. But they didn't have a lot of people that could do the job that I did. And so they kind of needed me, so I kind of had a wedge there. And she said, well, Johnny, she said, I think what we need to do is send you to anger management. She said, do you think you have anger problems? I said, I got people problems. People mess with me. She said, let's do this. She said, work pays for things like this. She said, well, I want you to go take an anger management class and see if the doctor wants you to come back or what he wants to do. I said, okay. So I go to him. It's over here by the hospital. And I go in there, we talking. He said, let me ask you. I explained to him about going to beat the guy up, headbutting him and all this, And I don't know if he was nervous or not. But he might have been used to dealing with crazies, And he said, well, tell me what happened. I said, I feel this rage inside my stomach. I said, I just feel this rage, I feel it come up. He said, well, that's what we need to do, son. He said, we need to teach you how to push it back down. He said, tell me what you do when you feel that rage come up. I said, the rage comes up, my hand comes out, and I choke them. And he said, no, that's not what you do. That's not what you do. He said, that's the problem right there. That's the problem. He said, you're going to get upset. You're going to get angry. He said, but you got to learn to push it back down. I said, yeah, but my hands come out. I choke them. I said, it's kind of like done. I said, you just try to let go before the police get there. But he said, okay, that's what we need to work on. Control. But he scheduled me for another class, and I didn't go back to the next class. My work, I supposed to took more sessions, but my work never realized I wasn't going back. So I got away with not going back. But I knew what he was telling me was right. I had to learn how to deal with this. Because I hadn't been going to church but just a year, maybe a year and a half. But I get into prayer, I said, Lord, how do I deal with this anger, this rage? It had always been there. It was like a part of me. I thought that's who I was. I thought I was born to fight. But when you grow up getting made fun of because of your teeth and because of the way you talk, that's all you know is to fight back. I would never let nobody in. I'd never let nobody learn how to love me. I wouldn't really let nobody do nothing for me. I don't think I discussed with you, but I have two other kids other than Madison. They're both 26 years old. I wasn't around much when they was little. They're 3 months apart, 3 months and 7 days. They're not twins. A lot of people say, you're twins? When I say they're the same age. No, they got different mothers. I've not always been the man I am now. But I wasn't around much when they was little. My middle one, her name's Emily. Me and her mother was married for a little while. I moved to Jasper, Georgia when I was 18 years old. Her family is very wealthy down there. They own the Lawson Chevrolet. They own almost a whole mountain down there. Her grandmother was very, very good to me. She'd give me a house, help me get a vehicle. She'd give me money all the time. She'd say, John, you need some money? We call her Granny B. I said, no, Granny B, let me give you some money. I can't tell you the time she just handed me $1,000. She said, I'll make sure you're okay. I mean, this lady was good to me. She loves Tracy. I still talk to her from time to time. But she loves Tracy like she loves me. She loves both of us like we want her kids. This is a good woman. But I didn't understand why she was doing all this. My daughter's mother, she wasn't nothing like this. She was crazier than I was. We fought like cats and dogs. We didn't make it. But her family was so good to me. Her father, her grandmother, they were all the time doing stuff for me. And I couldn't wrap my hand around, why are they doing this? What's going on? Because I had never had nobody to take care of me, nobody to help me, nobody say, John, you need anything? When somebody said, John, you need this, I said, well, what you up to? A little more of my before that. What are you trying to do? Because somebody wanted to do something for me or somebody wanted to help me, I thought there was an agenda behind it. I didn't know that people would love you enough to want to do something for you. That people would love you enough to want to say, hey, let me help you with this. I hadn't heard that word, let me help you, much in my life. Let me do this for you. Can I help you? Do you need something? Those weren't words I had heard. So it didn't take but maybe less than a year, maybe 6 months of all this loving on Johnny that Johnny says, heck no, and run away from it. I know that don't make no sense, does it? But I did. I moved back to Dalton. Give her the house back, left the vehicle, come back to Dalton. Because I didn't know how to let nobody do something for me. I had never been raised with people doing things for me and people helping me. So I didn't know how to react to that, so I left it. And me and her, we didn't make it, but maybe a year and a half, 2 years, we were separated. Which was probably good because we'd been put in jail because we was going to kill each other. She was meaner than I was, I think. But then, a few years later, I met Tracy. And anywhere I would go, she would go with me. She was always with me. And I wasn't used to somebody always being with me. But anywhere I go, she wanted to go. But she wanted to show me that she loved me, that she always wanted to be there for me. But it took time and time and time for me to realize somebody wants to be with me. Somebody wants to help me. Somebody wants to do something for me. It was a struggle for me to understand that. Maybe if you grew up in a nurturing, loving home, when you get out on your own, people want to help you, want to do something for you, yeah, sure, okay. But for me, Pastor, that was hard for me to let people in, to let people help me, because I always figured somebody had an agenda for what they was doing. If they was doing something for you, wanted because they wanted something. They was only helping you or doing something for you because they needed something in return. I didn't realize there was people in this world that would love you for you and love you for nothing in return. And me and Tracy was together for about 1.5 years, and then we got married. And then she got pregnant with Madison. But Tracy had been married one time before too. And her husband had tried to have kids for 10 years. To nothing. I had two little girls, and I didn't go around them much. I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to be a father. But Tracy would tell me, "Let's go get your girls." One lived in Jasper, Georgia, that way, south, yeah. And one lived close to Nashville, Tennessee. I just point all around. Somewhere around here. And so she would say, "Let's go get your girls this weekend." I said, "Okay, why?" I mean, that's bad to say, but I'm telling you the truth. I said, "Okay, why?" She said, "That's what you do. You spend time with your kids." This is before Madison was born. And I said, "Okay." So we'd go get them, bring them to the house, keep them for the weekend. And my oldest one never had no shoes. Every time I go pick her up, kid had no shoes. So we'd always have to stop and buy her shoes. Every single time we went and got her, we'd have to buy her shoes. Her mama wasn't a good mama like my mama, I believe. But we'd always had to buy her shoes. But Tracy would say, "Let's go get them." And my first response would be, "Why?" I didn't realize that that's what a father did, was spend time with her kids. But she had a mother, she had a father, so she knew that. So she was teaching me that. This is before we became Christian. She was teaching me how to be a father. But that was God's plan, to start teaching me then, to prepare me for later. But I've been, over the years, I've been trying to fix and repair my relationship with my girls. I've got 4 grandkids and 2 more on the way. One of them's having twins. I'm going to name them Itchy and Scratchy. 3. Yeah, 3. 2, yeah, 2 twins and 1. That's 3, right? But I'm going to name them Itchy and Scratchy, I think. But it's good to get to be around them and see them. And be the grandfather to them that I didn't get to be the father to my kids. But she had to show me how to be a father. How to go get them, how to spend time with them, how to take them back home, how to be responsible. Because I've never been responsible. I've never been taught to be responsible. Growing up, my mother, we went to bed when we wanted to. We went to school if we wanted to. We done whatever we wanted to. We wanted something to eat, we went out and found it. Over by Cox's one stop, there's a fountain. It's a different one now, but used to be it was a different fountain. People throw money in it and wish for stuff. And I'd go in there and get the money out. One time my mama caught me. She said, "Boy, don't you be getting them people's wishes out." I said, "Mama, they wishing for something? I'm wishing for something. Mine's coming true." I didn't know if theirs was, but mine was coming true. Because at Cox's one stop, you could buy Coke for $0.25 and $0.01. So I get in there, I get me $0.25 and $0.01. I couldn't read, but I could count. I learned how to survive. Sometimes I'd get my extra $0.25 and buy me some chips. But looking back, thinking about it, I never got more than I really needed. Because that was my go-to spot. I didn't want to wear it all out one day. But me and my brother growing up, we had places where we could get stuff to eat at. We had vending machines we'd go shake. Coke machines we'd reach our hand up, pull the Cokes out. We got trouble one time. Well, no, many times. Going to the grocery store, we'd get us little buggies and we'd push them around like we're shopping, put stuff in it we'd be eating. And then we'd get done, we'd just leave the buggy and walk out. That worked out good till we got caught at Red Food store. And the police come. And the manager didn't press charges on us, he let them take us home. Then they got us one time at the old Winn-Dixie, I think it's United Grocery now. they had chicken in the back, a deli. You can pay for it back there, you pay for it up front. And to me, I thought, man, this is the thing right here. You get it out there, you go up front, you say, I paid for it in the back, and you walk out. There's about 8 of us boys. We would do that all the time. We thought, man, this is nice right here. You go and order, you get anything you want. Chicken, biscuits, coleslaw. You can order as much as you want. We thought we were somebody. And we get up front and say, we paid for it in the back. Okay. That worked about 5 or 6 times, and then they got us. But they didn't, they called the police, but the manager only made us clean the parking lot. You know, he could have put us in jail, could have sent us to YDC or what have you, but he let us clean the parking lot. So many times in my life I've had people to give me a break, to help me out. But I never understood why. Because I always had this bitterness growing inside of me that I didn't know how to deal with. And for a long time I didn't know it was there. But you know, in Ephesians 4:31-32, I think it says, don't let no bitterness come inside of you, no anger, no malice, no wrath. But it's going to sometimes. But the question today is, when will you pull on it? When will you stop it? When will you say, I'm not going to let that take a hold of me. I'm not going to let that grow up inside of me. Like we said a while ago, if it's just a little weed, we can walk out there and pluck it up with no problem. Sometimes you just kick it up like that. But once we don't tend to it, then it starts to grow. And that's what the devil wants us to do. He wants us not to tend to the anger, to the rage, to the hatred. It's like when I was talking about Craig coming to my graduation. Some other people told me they were going to come and they didn't show up. I could be mad. I could be upset. I could be bitter. Not talk to them. They call me. I said, I ain't talking to them. They didn't come to my graduation. But that's what the devil wants. Because if they call me and I seen their name, I say, I ain't going to talk to them. I put that's step 1 right there. That's what breaks the ground. That's where that little root breaks ground and sitting there waving in the wind. So if I didn't answer it, there it is. And then next time I seen them, they say, hey, how you doing? And I'm thinking in my mind, how you doing? You didn't come to my graduation. You lied to me. That's step 2. It grows a little bit more. And then I dwell on it when they're not around. And the next time I see them, maybe I lash out on them. Because I didn't let it take root and I let it start to grow and get bigger and get bigger. But we can't do that. We have to deal with it at the point when it starts to grow. It starts to take hold because it's going to. There's going to be people in your life that let you down. There's going to be people in your life that upset you. There's going to be people in your life that say they're going to do something for you and they don't show up, they don't do it. That's going to happen. But the thing is, what are we going to do when it happens? Are we going to be the Christian that we're supposed to be and take it to our Father and say, Father, I really don't want to choke them out. So you're going to have to help me here. You know, it's bad me choke somebody out, but it's really bad if I choke some of my family members out. So you're going to have to help me. You know, when I go and I talk to Jesus, I talk to him. He's my Father, I've told you. So many times he sat beside me and told me how to do stuff, told me how to fix stuff. And we just spend time together. I can feel him right there beside me, teaching me and encouraging me like a father. And sometimes getting on to me like a father. But I say, Father, what do I do? I talk to him like he's right there with me. I talk to him like he's my father, my best friend. I say, man, I need to talk to you, Jesus. I got a problem. You know, I come from the ghetto. So maybe I use a different vocabulary than a lot of people do. But the same vocabulary I use with Jesus. I don't say, humble be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Jesus said, damn, you don't talk like that, boy. What are you doing? He said, you don't even know what them words mean. I ain't taught you that yet. Quit that. So I don't do that. I go to him and I say, hey, Dad, I need to talk to you about something. I got a problem. He already knows it. He already knows the problem, but he wants me to come. I said, I got a problem. I said, such and such hurt my feelings the other day. They told me they would show up. They didn't show up. It kind of hurt my feelings. I said, what did I do? He said, don't worry about it. He said, you keep going forward. Keep going on. He said, I deal with them. You deal with you. Keep moving forward. I said, yeah, but it hurt my feelings. But he always liked to bring up the past, you know. He says, you think you didn't hurt my feelings when they beat me up? I said, oh, yeah, probably, Jesus. He always bring the past up, don't he? He's been there for a long time. He said, I was upset too when they beat me. He said, but I didn't complain. I said, yeah, that's true. He said, when they nailed me to that cross, he said, it hurt. He said, but I didn't complain. He said, when they put that thorns on me, he said, it hurt. He said, but I didn't complain. Church, we can't complain about every single thing that arises on this earth. Because if we start down that path, we'll lose focus of who we are, what we are, and where we're going. The Bible says we are to finish this race and to finish it well. There's a prize. There's a high calling. And we're called to this race, to run this race to the best of our ability. And we run it better when we spend time with the Father. But he began to tell me, you think it didn't hurt when they nailed me to that cross? Church, I don't believe they had to force his hands out there. I believe he just laid them out there and said, Father, forgive them because I know what they're doing. He didn't fight them. Johnny would have. Johnny was trying to kick them. They ain't going to nail me up. I got big teeth. I've been trying to bite him in the jugular or something. But church, he lays them out there like this. He says, Father, forgive them. He had his assignment. He knew his assignment. And he wasn't going to vary from our assignment, Pastor. We have assignment and we can't vary from it. But when we get mad, upset, bitter, complaining, we let the stuff start to root and grow up in us, then we start to drift off that path. It's like this highway. There's a couple of doors on each side. If I start down it and look in one of the rooms and walk in there, I'm not going to get to the end of the highway. Because I'm going to be in that room wandering around, looking at whatever's in there, books, pictures, paint, floor, carpet. I'm going to be consumed with what's in that room. And if I stay too long, Pastor, I'm going to forget my journey was to get to the end of the highway. I can get lost inside that room. But there's going to be times that you step in that room, maybe, and you say, oh, this ain't where I'm supposed to be. And you get back out in the highway and you start down the highway again. There's going to be times that we get confused, times we get upset, times we get mad, times that we get hurt, offended. But the job is stay on track. No matter what, we stay on track. We stay on point. We finish this race well. We finish well. The Bible says he will say, well done, thou faithful servant, enter in. I think sometimes about when he tells me that, when he says enter in, I'm going to be kind of like this right here, you know, like this. When he says, well done, thou faithful, I'm going to get like he says, when he says enter, boom, I'm gone. I'm gone. Because when I get inside there, there's no more hatred, no more anger, no more rage, no more upset, no more crying, no more tears, no more heartache, no more nothing. I'm going to go look, see if there's manna, like he fed the children of Israel. I imagine it growing on trees. And maybe not, but this is, just Johnny thinking. I'm a little crazy. I think it was like a big fruit growing on trees in heaven, and maybe I just lay under a tree and pick one every now and then. Take it easy. Because my Father is going to provide every single thing I need. I didn't have a father here on earth, but he has become my Father. And I believe that when I get in heaven, he's going to supply every need that I have. He's going to give me a place to stay, whether it's a house, whether it's a cabin, whether it's a temple. I don't know where I'm going to stay. But one thing I know, it will not have no mailbox. Nobody gets a job as mailman in heaven. Nobody's going to deliver no bills. So don't worry about that. No light bill, no water bill, no gas bill, no bills. No mailboxes in heaven. The mailmen and women will make it to heaven, but they won't have the same job. No mailman in heaven. But if we don't deal with this hurt and anger and rage inside of us, you may be Christian, you might have been Christian for 20 or 30 years, and somebody can hurt your feelings, especially if it's somebody close to you. They can hurt your feelings and upset you. And if you don't go back and say, hey, let's talk about what happened, it starts to grow and get bigger. And some stuff, when it grows food or nuts and stuff on it, and then they come down and hit people in the head. So if you're going to let this thing grow inside of you, you're going to have to dwell with it, under it. And if it's got fruit on it, they could be hitting you in the head. constantly. So it's better not even let it grow at all, right? But I had to learn in my early life how to deal with this. Getting upset, getting mad, getting angry. I don't know if I told you last time, but I had tried to commit suicide twice in my life. Because I just didn't want to live at times. I had nothing going for me. Nobody pushing me. Nobody encouraging me. But both times that I had tried that, God sent somebody to come talk to me. Because He loved me. Even though I wasn't in His will, even though I wasn't living right, even though I didn't know Him yet, He knew in the future He was going to bring His Son home. He knew in the future that I was going to find my way out of that room into the highway, and I would journey down that highway. Church, it's okay when we're walking, if we kind of stagger a little bit, as long as we're still walking, Pastor. It's okay if we kind of do this a little bit, get confused or ain't for sure, as long as we keep walking. As long as we keep moving. It don't matter if we're doing this. As long as we keep moving. I know when I first started being Christian, I was learning how to walk with Christ, and I was learning how to trust Him. Because it's hard for me to let anybody in. It's hard for me to trust anybody. A lot of times I'd just be like this, trying to walk, just dragging my foot. But I was getting somewhere. I might not get nowhere fast, but I was getting somewhere. But He had to teach me that what love was. In the Bible, love is 346 times mentioned in the Bible. He had to teach me what love was, how to love. My ex-wife's grandmother, her family, they tried to love me, but I wouldn't receive it. I didn't know how. Who in their right mind moves off and gives her back a free house? This was a nice house on 39 acres. They own the apple orchard. They own one of the biggest apple orchards down that way. They've been featured in Time magazine years ago for certain apples that they had that nobody else had. This is a good lady. Treated me like I was her son. And it confused me. And I said, no, I don't want a part of this. That's not smart right there. That's not smart at all. Smart would have been my wife, you go back to Dalton, I'm going to stay with your family. That would have been smart. Because me and her weren't going to make it. We fought like cats and dogs. If I'd been smart, I said, listen, your family has adopted me. They love me more than you. You go back to Dalton, I'm going to stay here. But I didn't understand how to deal with that. She helped me get me a brand new truck. Her family owned the Lawson Chevrolet down there. I think they've sold it now, but she helped me get me a brand new Chevrolet truck. Give us this nice house. One day she said, hey, John, she said, I think I'm still that tractor in the garage. What do you think it's worth? I said, I don't know. I don't know nothing about tractors. I ain't never been on a farm. That's from concrete in Dalton, Georgia. And she says, I got a friend that's a doctor. I'm going to call him and see what he thinks it's worth. His name was Dr. Darnell, cool guy. He come down there. He told her, he said, I think it's worth about $6,000. Her name, he called her Blanche. And she said, you want to buy it? He said, yeah, I'll buy it. So he buys it from her. And she turns around and hands me $1,000. She said, thanks for helping me. I said, I didn't do nothing. She said, well, you helped me figure out what was worth, and you stayed down here with me while he come. I said, okay. I mean, I was confused. I didn't know I never had nobody give me money for nothing. Or give me money and say, hey, I love you. I think there's something wrong with this. There's TV cameras around. It's a prank. Somebody could jump out and say, trick! You're going back to no man's land. So I didn't know how to receive all that love. So what did I do? I left it. And that woman still loves me to this day. I seen her, last time I seen her was about a year ago because she got sick and had to move out of her house and move in with her son. But she all the time would tell me, Johnny, I'm proud of what you're doing. When I became Christian, I started going overseas and stuff. She said, I pray for you all the time when you're in other countries. She said, I worry, but I pray. She's 95 years old. And she could probably outwork every one of us. She was still pushing on her yard up till 2 years ago. But I didn't know how to receive it. Church, we have to learn how to receive love. You can't be loved unless you know how to receive the love. People can try to love you all day long. When me and Tracy got together, before I met her, I was on drugs real bad. We got together, I was still on drugs. She would try to love me and go places with me and do things with me. And I didn't know how to receive that love. I didn't know how to let somebody in, let somebody love me. So if you can't receive love, you'll never be able to love nobody else neither. I didn't know how to love my other 2 children because I had never been loved. You can't be something you're not. I can't put on a $500 suit and call myself a worker on Wall Street and walk in there because they're going to kick me out. They're going to say, you have no clue what you're doing. Get out of here. I couldn't be something I didn't know how to be. So God had to teach me how to receive His love, and then I could learn how to love others back. But we have to learn how to receive it. We have to learn how to embrace it. But if we're constantly pushing people out of life, pushing people away, not letting people come close to us, not letting people love us, not letting people do nothing for us, we can never fulfill that place we have with God. We can never fulfill that love. Because if I can't let my wife love me, then I'm not going to be able to let Christ love me. If I'm not going to let other people inside, let other people love me, then I'm not going to learn how to let Christ love me. So He had to show me. He spent many years, Pastor Craig, teaching me what love was. Teaching me that He loved me. Teaching me when I had a problem, I could come to Him and He would fix that problem. That He would work through it with me. And then after He taught me what love was and how to love and how to be loved, then I could start in turn learning how to love, learn how to give love, learn how to be there for my wife, for my daughter. But church, it don't take but just a little bit to ruin it all. If we let a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of wrath, a little bit of madness start to spring up inside of us and take growth. It don't take long to where we don't look like we used to. You know, if you got a little flower bed in front of your house and you plant you some flowers and it looks nice and you like it and you water it, then you get busy doing other things and you forget about it. When you go back in a few weeks, it's not going to look like the same spot. The weeds have done took over, took claim to it. It's theirs now. So you're going to have to work even harder to clean it up then, because you didn't maintain it. Our walk with Christ has to be maintained daily. We get up, we eat breakfast, we go to work, school, we eat lunch, we eat supper. We fill our bodies with the nourishment we need. But we also have to fill our bodies with the nourishment of the Word. We need that spiritual Word in us. We need that spiritual fatness in us. We need to grow spiritually. So we have to get that inside of us every day. Reading, fasting, praying, seeking the face of God, spending time with Him. Every day we have to do that. Same with that little garden. Every day you have to go out there and say, no weed, not today. Pluck it up. And when you pull the weeds out, you don't just leave them laying there. Usually you throw them out in the grass or you put them in a bucket because you want it to look nice. So you don't just pull them and leave them. That's the same thing when things are growing up inside of us. We don't just deal with it a little bit and leave it. We need to deal with it totally. Get every bit of it out of us. But it took me years and years to learn how to do that. It took me years to learn how to let Christ love me. It took me years for me to learn how to love other people. But I got there because I stayed working in that little garden. I stayed walking down the path. There was times I might look this way, times I might look that way, but I said, no, focus. Focus. I spent a lot of times telling myself, Johnny, focus. If I had $1 for every time I've talked to myself, man, I could buy everybody lunch. We'd all go eat good. I would remind myself, Johnny, focus. The Bible says we have to encourage ourselves. So I would have to tell myself, Johnny, focus, stay on track, keep reading, keep praying. It's going to work. Because when I started this journey, I really didn't have nobody to teach me, to show me how to do this. I had to learn how to read it for myself. And then I met Ramon, I met Craig, and I met other people that was teaching me and helping me to focus, to pay attention, to learn. But it took time. Just like it takes time for that garden to grow. But if I don't keep the weeds out of it, what I'm growing don't have room because the weeds choke it out. So today we can either have a garden full of flowers and vegetables or whatever you want in it, or we can have a garden full of weeds. Because both will not live together. You can't have a beautiful garden full of weeds. One will cancel out the other. When I try to teach people about drug abuse and drugs, I like to try to encourage people and help people that's on that to get off of it. I tell them so many times, you cannot have both in your life. You cannot have your family and drugs both, because one will cancel out the other. The drugs will not let you have your family, won't let you have your peace of mind, won't let you have nothing. It's going to take total control. And it is no different than anger, rage, jealousy, madness. Any of that will take control of your body, your mind, and plant root and keep it growing and keep it growing and keep it growing. But God had to teach me how to pluck it all up, straighten it up, clean it up, and change. Church, I can look back now and I can see I have changed. The way I stay on track walking on that highway, Pastor, is I mentally think when I accomplish something, I put a little flag in the ground. It's waving in the wind. I may go another 10 miles, 20 miles. You'll represent days or months. I accomplish something else. I get something out of my life. I get something broke off my life. Something I used to do, I don't no more. Somewhere I used to go, I don't go no more. Something I used to say, I don't say no more. When I accomplish something, I put a little flag. Church, now I've got to the point, not by my will, but by my Father's will, that I can look back and I see so many little flags just blowing in the wind like this, constantly waving at me, constantly waving. Church, we got to have those flags to remember. Because there are going to be times in your life when you're struggling, you're hurting, you're down, you're out, you're depressed, everything's coming against you. You're having the worst day of your life. But you can turn around and you can look back spiritually and you can say, hey, flags, I can do this. And you keep going forward. The key is to finish well. That is our job, to finish well. After I read that in Craig's book, I thought that almost every single day, finish well, finish well. When I get mad, hurt, upset, confused, discouraged, anything, I say, finish well, brother. Finish well, Johnny. You can finish well. I like talking to me. I'm my own best friend. I say, finish well. You can do this. Now when people hurt my feelings, upset me, instead of choking, I go to my Father. I say, Father, if I was in the wrong, you show me. You make me do the right thing. I said, if they was in the wrong, you show them. I said, if you have me to go talk to them, you send them. If you have them to come talk to me, you send them. Whatever your will is. I tell God all the time, I said, kicking and screaming, you make me do the right thing, Jesus. You ever took a kid into the store and you took them in the candy aisle and you're dragging them by the leg trying to get them out of there? And they're kicking and they're screaming and they're hollering? That's me. Some of the things I've had to break off in my life, I was hanging on for dear life. No, Jesus, not this one, buddy. Not this one. Anything but this one. And he said, let go, son. Let go of that. And once I let go, back off of it a little bit, I realized I didn't need that anyway. But there's been so many things in my life he's had to break off. Some things he said, hey, I'm taking this out of your life. Okay, no problem. There's other things I'll be like, no, not this one. You can forget it. We hanging on to this one. Not this one. This one's been around for a long time. I'm comfortable with this one. He said, we're going to pull that weed too, Johnny. We're going to clean that up too. But I said, you're the boss. You're my Father. If you say I don't need it, I don't need it. And I walk away from it. I ain't saying it wasn't times to think, oh, okay. No. But I walk away because he tells me to. Because I know, I learned at the very beginning he was a lot smarter than me. I learned that really, really fast, that he was a lot smarter than I was. So I learned that if I just listen to him, do what he says, go in the direction he tells me, I'm going to be okay. And I also thought, if it don't work, I got somebody I can blame. I said, Jesus, your fault. You told me to do it, it didn't work out. I've never got to do that, but it's always there if I ever need it. Because everything he tells me always works out. But I always think, well, if it don't, I'm going to blame you for it. You're going to get the blame. He said, I take the blame if it don't work out. Just go do it, son. I go do it and it works. He says, I told you so. You know, he's the only one that can say, I told you so. He's the only one that, we tell each other that sometimes, but he's the only one that's really got the right to say it. You know what? Because he's always right from the beginning to the end. The Bible says from the foundations of the earth we was known. He's always been right from the foundations of the earth to now. But I always think back in my mind, well, Jesus, if it don't work, I'm blaming you, buddy. It's your fault, not mine. But I've never got to use it. And I know I never will. But I've learned it's easier just to do what he says than to fight. But there's so many things in my life I've had to overcome, get rid of, push away, walk away from. And some was hard, some was easy. But as I look back past and I see all those little flags, and it's getting to where I can't even see the first flag no more. Used to, I could see 2, then I could see 3, and then I could see 4, and I thought, I can't hardly see the next one. Go get me some glasses, because I'm getting old, my eyes is getting bad. Even after the glasses, I look back and I can't see the first flag no more. Because I've come so far, so fast. But it ain't nothing I've done. It's what my Father's done. The only thing I was doing was being willing. Because I started this race saying, listen, if it don't work, I'm blaming you. But I'm going to do what you tell me. He says, fair enough. You do what I tell you, go where I tell you, when I tell you. If it don't work, I'll take the blame. I said, that's a deal, Father. He's been right every time, Pastor. He's been right every time. He has totally changed my life. And the only thing I done was stand there and look pretty and say, okay, sure, yes. I was pretty good at that. But that's what he wants. To lead and guide us, direct us. But our job is to pull out anything that's not right. When he brings it to your attention, say, you're right, Father, I don't need that. Some of it may be hard to get rid of, but we've got to get rid of it. We've got to pull those weeds. Get that garden clean. Me and my wife, we got a lot of projects going on, a bunch of different places. We help people, we send money and this and that. You know, I don't talk a lot about money and stuff that we're doing, but it's just because I'm explaining something to you. We send a lot of places. We send money, we send help, we do this, we do that. We're helping a lady in Cuba build a house. You know, we want to build us a house in Dominic. But I told Jesus that day, I said, Jesus, I want to build my house in Dominic, but I want to build hers first. Because she needs it more than I do. She needs it more than I do. And we're working on her house. They got the living room and the bathroom done already. She sends me videos all the time of the house and the construction and how much they got done, and talks to me in the video. And she speaks English. She's an English teacher, or was an English teacher in Cuba. But it's a blessing to get to do something for the kingdom. But he will give us these assignments and let us do them if we're willing to do them. But Johnny is nothing. But Johnny with his father can do so much. But all these little projects that we got going on, we're trying to help them do. To me, that's like planting flowers. If I help that lady, that's a blue flower. J13 radio station, we partner with them. We send some money to the Come On Let's Go every month. That's a little red flower. We help Christian. That's another little flower. This way I look at it, I have to imagine things. I have to want to see something kind of to keep me on track, keep me focused. Maybe that's just me. But as I look at my little garden, I'm going, I say so many little flowers, Pastor. Because each project I do, each prayer, each person I help, each thing I do, each thing I say, each thing I preach, everything I do, I imagine the garden with flowers. And as I look at it, there's all different color flowers there. But it's my choice whether I keep growing it or I leave it alone. So every day I get up, I have to decide, do I quit on my garden or do I get out there and pull the weeds? Because there's going to be weeds come up in my garden. At work, I'm going to have problems. Sometimes at home, I'm going to have problems. Sometimes coming down the road, somebody going to make me mad, I'm going to run off the road. I'm going to have problems. All through my day, I'm going to have problems. It's going to try to shoot up in my little garden. But if you've ever played that game where you hit the little heads as they poke up at the place, yes, whack-a-mole. That's what our life is like. Whacking them little weeds as they come up, taking care of them. But church, in closing, let me leave this with you. anything that so easily besets you, do away with it. Do away with it. Get up every day with a mindset and agenda. I'm going to pull any weed that comes into my life today. Anything that so easily besets me, anything that comes against me, anything that tries to upset me, hurt me, make me mad, make me angry, I'm going to pluck it up. And anything that's inside of here that God don't want, I'm going to pull it out. Because He knows what needs to be in here. I don't. Been closed, I'm going to encourage you. Love one another. The Bible says, love those that spitefully use you. And also, let someone love you. Because it's got to work both ways. We got to receive it. We got to give it. But if you're like me and you don't know how to receive it, learn to receive it. Then once you learn to receive it, you learn how to give it. But Jesus loves you. Today, tomorrow, and forever. But let's work towards getting everything out of us. So when He says enter in, we bust through them gates. Yours, Pastor.